Hello kind people of YouTube and welcome back to another video. I am still catching up on news from the last couple days because of my cold and all the mess around Christmas. So let's jump straight into it. I have 5 stories to talk about today and let's just start with the first one. And that is Visa buying a pretty important Ripple partner and thus getting themselves pretty close to Ripple. American payment services giant Visa Inc. is acquiring Ripple partner Earthport, a payment network for cross-border transactions, Reuters reports. Founded in 1997, London-based Earthport is a financial services firm that offers cross-border payment services to banks and financial institutions. Earthport is a partner of tech company Ripple, where the partnership is aimed at integrating the Ripple protocol into the firm's existing payment network to improve international transactions. Per Reuters, the acquisition will be made for £198 million or 30 pence per share, which exceeds the stock's Monday closing price of 7.45 pence by over 4 times. Now this is interesting. They are buying this company at over 4 times the valuation it currently has at the open market. That means Visa cares a lot about owning Earthport. And that is probably either because they want their staff, if they have particularly good staff on their team, but that seems awfully much to pay just for staff. So what I think is going on here is because Earthport is not doing well financially. Earthport is showing losses, so they obviously don't want them for their current money-making potential. They seem to want them for their technologies and for their properties. And the most promising of those is their Ripple integration. Let's continue reading. Earthport shares, which are listed on the London Stock Exchange's secondary market, have reportedly slumped over 28% this year, following growing losses and expenses. This reportedly made the company consider fundamental changes in its strategy. In 2016, Earthport launched a single application programming interface designed to connect banks to Ripple's distributed ledger protocol when processing cross-border payments, according to financial and business news outlet FinExtra. The development was reportedly set to enable banks to overcome budgetary, technology, and compliance constraints. Don't really need the rest of this article, it goes into some other stuff there. This is very, very interesting. This is very interesting because as it stands, this will put Visa and Ripple into near direct partnership. This means that a Visa-owned company, and we don't know if they're going to run it completely separate or if they're going to integrate it into Visa itself. But a company owned by Visa is working directly with Ripple, developing a product to integrate Ripple's technologies with banks, so an integral part of what Ripple is doing is now done by a company owned by Visa. Visa, traditionally seen as one of Ripple's competitors, but much like American Express, which is also can be seen as one competitor, American Express has jumped onto Ripple. This might be the first step for Visa to say, hey, we're interested in that as well. Let's work with Ripple on making all of this better for everyone. So this is incredibly interesting. Visa has had some issues with their network in the last couple of years. Some slowdowns, some attacks on their network, some problems with payments going through. Maybe they're eyeing Ripple's technologies to make sure everything works just fine. This could be potentially absolutely enormous for Ripple in the future, but we really need more details about how exactly this situation is going to end up. What exactly Visa plans to do with this company. Are they planning to gut this company? Are they planning to just run this company as a subsidiary? Are they planning to integrate this company into their own company? A lot of things they could possibly do here. Are they just looking for a couple trademarks that they own and patents? Who knows? We'll find out more information in the future. But this gets Ripple, who have already been close to MasterCard, close to the other major credit card company, Visa, and that is a very interesting situation that I don't think anyone would have expected a couple of years ago. That a cryptocurrency would be pretty much affiliated with both major credit card providers. This is big, this is big. Let's look at a more general look at 2019, and we have some people agreeing with the stuff I've been saying all along here, and I always like it when people agree with me. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? I mean, I don't mind disagreement. Disagreement is healthy as long as it's respectful and isn't just full of ad hominem attacks or or stuff taken out of context. So do feel free to disagree with me. If I say anything you don't agree with, just don't be a jerk about it. That's how I try to handle it as well. Henry Aslanian, I almost certainly mispronounced that, the Asia fintech and crypto leader of PricewaterhouseCoopers Hong Kong, has predicted that many institutional players will enter the crypto industry in 2019. Aslanian made this claim during an interview with Bloomberg. When asked about his outlook on crypto for the next year, he said that he thinks there's a lot of exciting things that the crypto ecosystem is looking forward to in 2019. He explained that he expects the next year to be different from 2018 because of the increasing regulatory clarity. Aslanian also declared that he expects many more big banks to enter the space, some by launching their own solutions, others by partnering with or investing in crypto companies. This involvement, he explains, will bring in institutional level expertise, which according to him is much needed. PwC is an international network of companies that provide consulting and auditing services. The company, which has its headquarters in London, was founded in 1849 and is one of the big four accounting companies. Their Hong Kong office has accepted Bitcoin as payment for its auditory advisory services since late 2017. So here we're seeing someone representing an absolutely massive and important company in the financial world, just outright saying 2019 will see a lot of big players moving into crypto. Now we can be reasonably sure here that this guy is well connected and has a general idea of what most major companies are getting up to right now. That he will have some insight that we do not yet have, some information that we do not have yet, that he probably isn't able to share clearly. But this guy knows what's going on in the financial world. He knows that banks are looking at getting in there. And we will see a lot happening in 2019, especially in the first half of 2019, I believe. Because we have all those institutional products launching, we have all the big money getting ready to move into, just swoop into the market. That should have ridiculous effects on the crypto markets, and I'm personally very, very excited. But there's one problem that we have right now. And I talked about it briefly yesterday. Bitmain. Bitmain is, of course, a mining giant. And Bitmain's problems that it has run into now are representative of the entire mining industry and by extension of a lot of the companies in the crypto world in general. Bitmain is a giant, and we are currently seeing a giant fall. Now, it's not clear if it will completely die or if it will continue acting in a much smaller capacity. But the writing is on the wall, and now we have reports that their CEO might even resign in the coming days. Now that, you know, a company is running through massive, massive problems, and that they've really messed up when the CEO resigns after massive layoffs. That is an admission that the company was completely mismanaged. Now, these are unconfirmed reports for now, so do keep that in mind. This could be fake news, but it is looking very likely. Let's read this. And then after, I'll tell you guys why this is so worrying. Jihan Wu and the Jenke group, Jenke, will be reportedly soon retire as CEOs of leading mining ASIC producer Bitmain. Rumors about their departure were reported by Chinese local media O-Daily on December 28th. O-Daily quotes an unnamed source familiar with the situation that Bitmain is currently in a transition period. Furthermore, the article also reports that employees allegedly weren't optimistic about the outcomes of the double CEO system. Which, of course, keep in mind, it is unusual to have multiple CEOs, and this company had a person and a company running it together. Which might be one of the reasons it seems to have been run so inefficiently and weirdly. Let's get back to the article. The Chinese local outlet also notes that their successor is supposedly surnamed Wang, without providing further information. In mid-November, Chinese local media reported that Wu would no longer be able to influence corporate decisions at the mining manufacturer, alleging that he had been demoted from the position of director to that of supervisor. O-Daily also reported today that unspecified sources declared that Bitmain is planning to cease all mining operations and already commissioned the relevant dealers to sell the used Antminer S9s. This, according to the article, would mean that the company will lay off over 500 employees. This is actually a low number. We have seen numbers of well over 1,000 for Bitmain allegedly for the layoffs. In mid-May, Wu had told Bloomberg in an interview that the manufacturer was considering turning to artificial intelligence amid China's crypto crackdown. At the time, Wu predicted that AI chips would account for 40% of Bitmain's revenue in the next 5 years. The O Daily article referenced the AI division, noting that layoffs would include those from the AI mining overseas and Bitcoin Cash Copernicus client teams. At the end of December, Chinese social media reported that Bitmain had already allegedly fired its entire staff of Bitcoin Cash developers. Here we are starting to run into an issue because this is a company that is holding a lot of Bitcoin Cash. And if they are completely removing their staff of Bitcoin Cash developers, just excising that entire part of the company, what will happen to those Bitcoin Cash? And this is also a company that is seemingly in massive monetary troubles. So let's look at another article, and then you should see where, like, it's already troubling enough to have such a massive company in the space undergo ridiculous layoffs, have to get rid of its CEO. And that is already very troubling. That is very troubling because it's representative of the market in general, and it's representative of a company that grew way too quickly, really overexerted itself, and did not have a proper backup plan, did not predict the future correctly. But there is a way in which this could really, really mess with markets, and for two coins in particular. Let's look at this article, CCN. Crypto VC says Bitmain layoffs could spell doom for Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin. You might wonder why. Let's read this article and you'll figure out. Ongoing layoffs at cryptocurrency mega firm Bitmain could start a fresh wave of selling in Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin markets. The cryptocurrency-focused venture capitalist Kyle Samani said in a tweet that the Bitcoin mining giant is, if rumors are true, running out of money to continue its operations across mining and blockchain development. The financial scarcity has led the Chinese firm to downsize its workforce, reportedly by 50% or more. And to further meet its ends, Samani said Bitmain would likely dump its crypto stockpile, which includes a massive number of Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash tokens. And here we have reached the problem. Bitmain laying off more than 50% allegedly of its staff, getting rid of its CEO. That means the company is in serious problems and probably needs a cash injection quick. Now, they are already allegedly selling off used mining rigs, but that won't make them all the money they need. And they are stockpiling a lot of cryptocurrency, and without their Bitcoin Cash team, you might wonder why would they even hold Bitcoin Cash at this point. Let's continue looking. Samani's bearish theory is based on Bitmain's alleged financial report, which was leaked in August this year. If genuine, it revealed that the company was holding close to 931,000 Litecoin and 1 million Bitcoin Cash. According to the current rates, Bitmain must be holding about $28 million in Litecoin and a whopping $177 million in Bitcoin Cash. Okay, so this is the leaked document. And of course, the validity of this is questionable. It was leaked. So you never know if a leak is perfectly legitimate. You never know that unless the company comes out and says, yes, this was leaked. But if this data is true, they have nearly $200 million sitting around in Bitcoin Cash. And after the recent hard fork, they will have about half that, unless they sold them all off, in Bitcoin SV or Bitcoin Cash SV. So they have 250 to 300 million probably sitting around in those two cryptocurrencies, plus nearly 30 million in Litecoin. Now, what do you think will happen if this company in dire need of money and with no use for these cryptocurrencies at this point? What do you think will happen if they flood the markets? $177 million in Bitcoin Cash. 1 million Bitcoin Cash. What will happen if those enter the market all at once? If those get sold off? If those get sold aggressively? What happens if the same amount of Bitcoin Cash SV floods the already weaker Bitcoin Cash SV market? What will happen when almost $30 million worth of Litecoin floods the Litecoin market? Now, if they are smart and if they have the possibility, with these amounts it might not be possible. They could sell these off over the counter, in which case they might not affect the markets. But we don't know that. So at this point, if all of these reports, all of these leaked information out of Bitmain, that they're letting go more than 50% of their staff, that their CEO is retiring, that they're getting rid of their entire Bitcoin Cash division, and that they are holding this much in Bitcoin Cash, likely in Bitcoin SV, we don't know because the last information we have is from before the hard fork, but they would presumably have the same amount in Bitcoin Cash SV unless they sold those off already. So if this company in dire financial needs has about $300 million sitting around in Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Cash SV, and Litecoin. Chances are looking like these will be dumped onto the market in the future. And we have unfortunately seen stuff like this happen before. We have seen the Mt. Gox liquidation push the Bitcoin market down repeatedly over this year, because some guy kept selling off millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin at the time, over and over on the open markets. And that crashed the Bitcoin price multiple times. Every time the Bitcoin price was near recovering about the middle of 2018, he just sold off more and crashed the markets back down. That happens when you move these amounts of tokens all at once in the open markets. So let's hope that they will find a way, because they will almost certainly have to get rid of these. They need money, they need to be operational, they need to tide themselves over until they can actually turn a profit as a company again. And even after all these layoffs, they still have 1,000 to 2,000 employees. That is a lot of payroll. That is a lot of money they have to pay every month. So this will likely be dumped onto the market. The only question is, will it happen over the counter or will it happen on the open markets? If it happens on the open markets, this could completely crash these cryptocurrencies and could even crash the entire market. This might be enough if they crash Bitcoin Cash by like 30% in one day. That might be enough to drag everything down 10-15%. That is possible. That is absolutely possible. So I'm a bit worried about this, but I know the markets in general would recover. I'm unsure if Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV, and Litecoin, which already have a weakened image, which have already not been performing particularly well, which have already lost out on importance and esteem in the general eyes of investors, I'm unsure how well they will survive this, if they will be pushed way down permanently, if this were to happen. But as it stands right now, this is looking worrying. They also hold Bitcoin, Dash, and Ethereum, but Ethereum only about 140,000, Dash 26 million. That would also be enough to make a dent on the market. $84 million of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is probably the last cryptocurrency that they would dump, but that would of course also be a possibility. Now, Bitcoin probably a bit less susceptible to being completely crashed by that kind of amount. But just be careful, guys. If something like this happens in the next couple of weeks, you know what might be one of the causes. It's a bit worrying. It is worrying. It truly is. Let's finish off with some positive Tron news. As promised, and Justin Sun does not always stay true to his promises, Tron now has over 80 dApps on the network, making it one of the most active ecosystems for dApps. The whole cryptocurrency market has been shining brightly since the beginning of this month, as the price of all the cryptocurrencies took an unanticipated upward swing. This came across as an additional push for all the projects that have been striving for the betterment of the ecosystem and the community. Additionally, the coin restored the hope... restored the hope of several investors in the market as they were on the verge of being crushed down by the bear. Even top currencies such as Ethereum, XRP, Litecoin, and Tron showed much progress after the bulls returned to the market. I'm not quite sure we can really talk about the bulls return to the market yet. I don't regret that point. We had a good month, but we're not in the bull market yet. Justin Sun, the CEO and founder of Tron Foundation, recently made announcements regarding Tron's new milestones on his official Twitter handle. One of the announcements were regarding the dApps built on Tron network. In the month of November, the CEO had stated that Tron would have 80 plus dApps on the network by the end of December. He said on Twitter, "Tron has 74 dApps in dApp review now and 80 plus secured. At the time of writing, Tron has breached the 80 plus mark, as the stats on dApp review pictured the network with 82 dApps on the network, proving that Sun has yet again, really, kept up the promise made to the community." Now, this strikes me as a bit of a biased article, because if there's one thing you might know about Justin Sun, is that he is not very good with the promises he makes to the community. He is known to promise the world and then underdeliver. And I'm actually surprised this is one that he kept. Because multiple times he has hyped up something. He has made a big announcement. And usually it has pushed the Tron price up. So you could even call this deliberate market manipulation. Multiple times he has pushed something that then turned out to be nothing. Multiple times he has announced partnerships that either didn't exist at all or turned out very different from how he presented them. So any article that talks about Sun yet again keeping his promises to the community, what? What are you talking about? That is just... But, okay, that was my news and media criticism for the day. You know, on AMB Crypto, there's always something stupid going on in every single article on here. But the core thing that they're reporting on, over 80 dApps now on the Tron network, that is something worth celebrating. That makes Tron one of the most active platforms for dApp development, and Tron also is one of the most active platforms as far as actual activity on there, with, I believe, only EOS currently more active as far as dApp activity is concerned. So as much as Sun is a very questionable figure in my mind, and as much as this article is nonsense, just completely misrepresenting, in my opinion, what Sun's history with promises has been, this is something to celebrate. This is Tron doing well, this is a lot of development happening on the network, and we don't see this much development on some other networks that are supposedly superior. So you have to question, why is this happening here, not somewhere else? Clearly, Tron is attractive for dApp development at the moment. And with this, I'm going to end this video. I'm sorry, I can feel my voice got worse throughout the video. I hope you can't hear it. I'm still getting over my cold. As always, thank you so much for watching. All these articles are linked in the description if you want to read them yourself. In the description, you'll also find links to my social media pages, as well as a variety of ways to support the channel. If you don't have a Binance account yet, use my referral code, costs you nothing, gets me a small amount of your trading fees. If you don't have a hard wallet yet, get a Ledger Wallet S, a Ledger Nano S, also have an affiliate link in the description. Once again, no extra cost for you, but you can keep your crypto safe. Much appreciated. If you don't want to or can't support me in any monetary way, I would really appreciate if you enjoy my content, if you just made it your habit to always leave a like and leave a comment under my videos. I know every YouTuber asks you to do this stuff, but it really helps. To the degree that if you don't have a YouTube channel yourself and you haven't seen the difference between the performance of a video that gets good likes and good comments and a video that gets none, then you don't understand just how much of a difference it makes. So anyone that has been liking and commenting, you guys are awesome. You keep this channel going. You help me grow. That is incredibly appreciated. Thanks for watching.